Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike, also known as CDRomatron, and today we're going to be playing through Crash Bandicoot 2 N-Tranced for the Game Boy Advance. Any percent. So we're just going to be getting from the start of the game to credits as soon as we can. So are we ready on the timer? Okay. So countdown from, start and go, and then countdown from 3. So 3, 2, 1, go. So, Crash Bandicoot 2 was the second 2D platforming Crash game released for the Game Boy Advance in 2003. Sequel to XS, which was primarily based on the levels from Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3. This is based more on the levels from Crash Bandicoot 3 as well as The Wrath of Cortex. So you're going to see elements of both of those games translated to 2D. Throughout this first world, we're going to be doing a series of movements depending on exactly what the level looks like and where it's useful. The fastest movement in the game is 2 slides then a spin. However, sometimes it can be a bit it can make more sense just to chain some slides for a short bit, or just do slide spins for a short bit, depending on what obstacles are around you. So this game is also comprised of vehicle levels as well as the platforming levels. This is the surfing levels. There's not much to these levels. The fastest movement is being on the ground holding B. Being in the air is slow, getting caught in grass is slow. In this level, it's pretty optimal because we have like path we can go on and just not have to release B for the whole one. Just gotta watch out for the seagull, and as soon as they get past the grass patch, move into the middle, and there we go. And then move back over to the right. So I'm aiming to leave this level with 2 masks. For those unfamiliar, the mask that's following us is Aku Aku. What he does is he gives us an additional hit point, so we can take extra hits before we die. However, if we click 3 Aku Aku masks in one go, then that causes us to turn invincible and have a damage aura around us to break boxes. I'm going to leave the shark over to the side so I can finish in the middle. So we're going to be collecting a 3rd Aku mask in the next level, which will allow us to break some boxes. So if I jump off this, there we go. So the mask doesn't actually make you go any faster, it just means we don't need to worry about obstacles, which is pretty nice. Oil acts similar to ice in other games, so I'm going to be trying my best not to slip up on it, but we can also use it to move very fast. Sliding on oil is quite fast. There's these mummy enemies, so you hit them once to reveal them, and then the second time will cause them to... the second one will kill them. So we spawn the box bridge there and get to the exit. So in each level, all we're aiming for is the crystals. We'll be collecting 21 in total and defeating 4 bosses along the way. So this is the first Arabian level we're going to be seeing. Each level has its own gimmicks to it, whereas this one has the scorpion enemies and genie enemies, and as well as hangrails and these bouncy carpet things. The Egyptian levels, of course, had those mummies and snakes, and the guys throwing blocks at you. And the other type of level we'll be seeing at the start of World 2 is the prehistoric levels. There's not much to World 1 at the moment. If there's anything you'd like to read, now is probably a good time.
Not at the moment, but I'd like to give a quick shout out to one of our partners, Western Digital Black. Their SSDs are made for speed, just like speedrunning. The lovely Brad from the Western Digital has been hanging out with us, getting to know our community and improved the meta game of Quick and Crash. He got the speed bug.
Right, so this is the first Atmosphere level. These are 3D levels, I believe based on a Tony Hawk engine. There's a few skips we can do because the way the 3D layout works, it's kind of hard to tell where you are relative to the rest of the stage. However, there's a few jumps we can make to skip past parts of the level. All we're aiming here is just to get all the momentum we can and just keep that for as long as we can. Click the crystal and take a shortcut to the end. And then portal is here. Oh, there we go. Runaway rug. We're going to be jumping on some enemies to avoid having to go along a hangrail, which can be pretty slow. So we'll jump along here, land on that TNT, jump over to this bouncy box, and up on that. Cool. So yeah, now we can just jump along these carpets. instead of having to go all the way along the bottom and then jump all the way up. What we collected there was a gem shard. To further complete this game, there's an additional like bonus world at the end, with like a bonus boss and a true ending at the end, which you get for collecting all of the gem shards, and that unlocks 3 extra levels, and you can beat those. However, we're not going to be aiming to collect those. However, there's a few instances in this game where going along to collect the gem shard is actually faster than doing the level without going down that extra path. So we're going to be seeing that in 2 or 3 levels. So we're collecting the third mask form here once again to break some boxes. When you're spinning on these handrails, you need to stop and spin. So by collecting 3 masks, we can just power through those boxes. We're also going to make a cool jump here. Over to this platform, and then jumping on these scorpions. Took a hit there, but that's okay. So we're going to be entering the first boss of the game, Evil Crunch. Evil Crunch is relatively simple. It takes part on this genie carpet, and all we need to do is wait for him to back in some nitros, and then we shoot him. There's nothing much to this fight, it's just waiting, there's no variance, there's no RNG, it's just the same fight every time. Now he's shooting us, and we can just kind of camp at the bottom. However, once we beat Fake Crunch, similar to Crash 3 onwards, every time we defeat a boss, we're going to be unlocking an additional power-up in the game. After this, we'll be unlocking the Super Slide, which is like the slide, but we're going to be going very quickly, and that'll be quite evident from as soon as we start the next level. So I'm going to be damage abusing using this mask. I was hoping to keep 2, but... So we have just enough iframes to get through all those boxes. Okay. So the Super Slide is what makes this game like really interesting. You can just go so quickly, and it's so much fun. One thing you're going to be seeing me doing is super sliding over some pits, and that looks really scary. What I'm doing is primarily called a wall jump, which is by buffering the A input whilst you're over a hole. You will effectively jump on the first frame when you reach the other wall. So we can also do super slides to make it over some pits. Such. And this is the second atmosphere level. It has a huge skip just at the beginning. If I get this right. There we go, first try. So I just need to watch out for these barrels. So in this game, cycles are based on as soon as you see them. So as soon as you approach a cycle, it starts, but then it will continue even if you die. So if I were to die on these levels, I wouldn't know how these barrels are positioned. However, as long as I do this first try and approach them at the same speed I regularly do, then I'll know where all the barrels are and I'm able to avoid them. Aside from that, it's just making sure I execute this level as well as I can. And past these. It's also trying to reduce lag as much as I can. I find being along the actual ground as opposed to being in these half pipes causes less lag, so I'll be aiming to do that whenever possible. Grand, okay, so that's most of the atmosphere levels out of the way. We're not going to be seeing another one till the final world. Hopping Coffins, this is another instance where you're going to be seeing a lot of wall jumps. Like here. Super sliding jump on oil is quite fast. We'll try and line that up again. Oh, okay. There we go. So we can jump off there. We're going to go up here, get the mask for safety. Nope. I'm pushing the buttons in the wrong order. I'm meant to be doing the slide, then the jump, and I'm doing the jump, then the slide. There we go, that's what I meant to do. So there's a mask in this box, that's always in this box. There's some boxes which have masks which don't look like mask boxes, and there's some boxes which sometimes have masks. However, we're not going to be seeing many of those. Oh. Just didn't have a jump there. Okay, we're at Hoppin' Coffins. Sorry, I hate that level. I don't know why, it's not even particularly difficult, it's just always the point I end up choking at. So here is Flock Full of Seagulls. This is the second one of these water stages, and unfortunately I haven't found a particularly good like just beeline you can take due to the sheer amount of grass that there is in this level. So we're just going to be aiming to get through this as soon as possible. I also want to pick up some masks. There's a lot of places in World 3 where masks are particularly useful, so I'll be aiming to pick up as many as I can. Here the only threat really is the shark. Every other enemy is particularly avoidable. And I also just want to be watching out for the grass as much as I can. Nope. Okay, so we're going to trigger those seagulls there, just so we don't need to worry about them later on, and then do the jump over there. Get around the grass. Watch out for the shark. There we go. So whenever these seagulls are here, I'm going to be triggering them as soon as I can, so that they are activated. If you hang on the right side of the stage, you don't need to worry about the seagulls, which is quite nice. Magma Mini, this is another prehistoric level. These introduces those ropes that you're seeing. We can spin to slide off those whenever we want. We can also slide off these like really early, so we don't need to wait for most of them, which is pretty nice. So we're going to be sliding off this one as well in a second. There we go. Yeah, the hitbox of those enemies are huge, but that also means you can hit them really easily, so I aim to get rid of him as soon as possible. Slide onto the rope, collect the hopper pack. So this just gives you full access in all 2 dimensions, so going up, down, and left and right. You can hug the wall to get past that nitro relatively quickly. And yeah, we just need to ride this out and wait for the next boss, which is Evil Coco. So the whole plot of this game is that this master hypnotist, N-Tranced, has stolen tried to steal all of the Crash crew, and he almost succeeded. He got Crunch and Coco and almost got Crash. So this is Evil Coco. Evil Coco is relatively simple. Once again, no RNG, just does the same thing every time. She'll go back then forth, and she'll always shoot those missiles down, so we just need to wait for her to put down the shield. There we go. And now she'll go back and forth twice this time. And she'll get a little progressively faster each time she does this. This is another particularly quiet bit, so if there's anything you'd like to read as well, that'd be a good time.
Alright, we got $5 from Del Wingo saying, "Yo Mike, best of luck pal, so sick to see you running Crash at ESA. Looking forward to the Spiral race with you and Lovebot."
Yo, thanks Dill. Yeah, thanks for good luck. Yeah, and the Spiral race should be a lot of fun as well. So during this whole bit, we can just kind of stay along the left-hand side and we're safe, aside from that one missile. That happens on both the second phase and the third phase. So we just need to wait to get back over. If I had a mask, I'd have played that a little more risky. However, I did not. So we just unlocked the rocket jump. The rocket jump is essentially a really high jump. This is that jump. That's the only time you're going to see the jump in the run. So now we just need to head it over here. There's a mask we can pick up. Normally I don't get it, but we're low on masks, so let's pick it up anyway. I need to make sure I don't hit the bonus level here. So if you land on a bonus level, it does this really long animation of you like flying away to the bonus, and then you need to then die in the bonus to be able to leave the bonus. There we go. So I'm going to come here, collect a mask. So aside from that, we're just going to be super sliding whenever we can, just to get around, because it's so fast. The other really fast way of moving in this game is the sprint, however we don't unlock that until we've beaten the game. So this is just another auto-scroller carpet bit. I just need to make sure I don't get hit, preserve these masks for as long as I can. There's a level later on in World 3 which I'm going to want to enter with 2 masks, so I'm just going to try keep these masks for as long as I can. although there's plenty of opportunity for me to collect more masks in the meantime. So this is the third and final water level. Luckily it is also one of the shortest, so I should be getting through this relatively quickly. There's a lot of dangerous obstacles here, especially when people are trying to get all the boxes for the first time, and trying to go quickly, because there's some bits you do need to slow down to collect some boxes. Once again, going to be getting these seagulls activated as soon as we can, so that we don't need to worry about them later on. Aside from that, we're going to be dodging the shark as well as we can. We also need to watch out for the end of the level, because if the shark's at the center when you finish the level, Crash gets pulled towards the center anyway, so the shark can eat you whilst you're leaving the level. So I'm going to make sure he's at least not centered. Luckily we got some good timing there, so he wasn't in a position to eat us. Run from the sun. This is the only other type of vehicle level we're going to be seeing for this run. Aside from that, it's all going to be repeats. These levels take place with Coco in space. There's not much to these levels. They look like auto-scrollers, but there is a bit going on. A lot of it is managing how much damage you've taken, and just trying to boost whenever you can, figuring out when it's worth stopping to shoot the enemies, and when you just kind of want to dash through. We're also going to be using as many of these boost pads as possible. Just lining up. There we go. So the little spike ball enemies do about 10% each, and these meteors that's coming towards the camera do about 20 or so. There we go. For those guys.
Got time for a quick one?
Go ahead.
We got $1 from Pete the Player saying, Mike, when is Lava Field's world record?
Dude, when is Lava Field's world record? For anyone not in the know, Talk and I have been playing through Spyro Fusion ILs for the last 2 hours? 2 hours. And yeah, apparently I just didn't know you could double jump that well in the game. Good meme. So this is another instance where we're going to be doing a lot of super slides. I want to leave this level with 2 masks. I'm going to do something risky to hopefully save a little bit of time with a wall jump. So we have 2 masks here. I want to keep them. So I'm going to slide under this nitro and get a wall jump there. And then we're going to spin off this early and just hit that helicopter backpack. So yeah, now we just need to wait till we get to the end of this bit. I don't know why, but there's a bit halfway through this helicopter segment where it kicks you out the helicopter pack right next to another one. I don't know why they didn't just let you keep it. So yeah, it's like we fall down here and then there's another one. I guess it's because they put a checkpoint there, but I mean... I don't think there was really anything before the last checkpoint. Yeah, we'll just come out to this end of this helicopter pack here. It's relatively short. So we're going to super slide over these holes so we don't need to use the ropes. Come down here, hit the icebox, which freezes all the enemies. Collect the crystal. You can slide under the crystal, it's a bad time. And leave the level. So getting 2 masks out of here is really good for slip and slide and sphinx. There's a lot of oil in the stage, and super sliding on oil is extremely fast, as I mentioned previously, and you'll see why in a second. So by chaining super slides together, you can go absurdly fast for as long as possible. There we go. Over this pit. Another one. And we're here. Super slide through all those. Get the crystal. Oh, that was a close one. I thought that was on a different cycle. Jump on those. This is Fake Crash. He mirrors your movements. I'm explaining this now because the fight is rather quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the stage is asymmetrical, but his movements are symmetrical to yours. So by knowing where to go, you can just fall down and immediately hit him into 4 spikes. this is barrel rolled. I mentioned earlier how cycles are based on when you approach them, and that's especially true for this level. This level has laser gates, which will turn on after a period of time of being on screen. So I want to get through those as soon as possible. They always start turned off, so as long as I'm fast getting through them, then I'll be completely safe. However, if I die, the cycles will continue. So if I were to die, then the cycles will be completely different and I actually need to wait for them. I mentioned going fast through them. That's specifically true for here because we need to go slow leading up to it. Did we get it? Okay, we got it. So because you're in a bit at a right angle to that, they do load a bit earlier than they do every other instance in this level. We're going to be going for a really small skip at the end of this bit, so we're going to roll off the edge of here. Okay, we got it. Nice. It just saves time going down that ramp over the side. Take the crystal. And over to the end. Nice. So that's all the atmosphere levels out the road. Time for the final lava level we're going to be seeing. There's not much to this one, just a few wall jumps. As well as a really cool thing. So one of the power-ups we got from the last boss is the tornado spin, which allows us to do a really long jump, like that. So that saves waiting for the whole auto-scroller bit. Having two masks here means we don't need to do mask damage abuse, which is really nice. So we can just get into third mask form and just ride out the rest of this level. The reason for that is you'll see several bits where this lava kind of like jumps out at you, and because of the way like the camera works here, you need to wait for them to be on screen before they start jumping up. So if you waited for them, you'd need to wait for each one to jump up. However, by damage abusing or using invincibility to get through the first one, you can just run past all of them. Aside from that, we just need to finish up this level. This portal is unique in which it's the only one not on the ground, it's a few pixels above, meaning you can just walk past it, you need to jump into it. So this is Rock the Kasaba, one of the hardest Arabian levels in my opinion, and just one of the hardest levels in this game. It's a bit of a gauntlet and there's a lot of time between checkpoints in this level, so... Jumping on that guy. Super sliding because the carpet's always going to be there. Okay, nice, we're on the carpet. So after this carpet bit, there's just going to be a short bit where we need to jump across a few ropes to get to the end. There's a lot of enemies, and all of the enemies which are shooting fire from the windows, as well as a lot of instant death bits. So unlike a lot of the other Crash games, where if you fall into like a fire pit or something, you'll just take damage, in this game it's instant death, so we want to be avoiding that. So using the tornado spin to get along. Land there. Spinning across the ropes. That cycle's always nice. Bounce on that. So I had to wait for a bit there. Normally I'd gone into that carpet and done a super slide over to the right. However, because I had to wait for a second for grabbing the hangrails, I decided not to do that. This is the final space level. This level's really long. It's about maybe just shy of 3 minutes or so. And avoiding enemies. You'll see what's a lot more prevalent in this level is kiting. What I mean by that is there's a lot of instances where the spiked ball enemies, what'll happen is when they're kind of activated, when you get so close to them, they'll start homing in your position to an extent. By to an extent, I mean they come close and then they stop moving. So if I bring them over to one corner of the screen and then immediately move over to the other, I'll be safe and don't actually need to kill them. As such. So yeah, there's about another 2 minutes left this level, so if there's anything else you'd like to read, now would be a good time.
Not at the moment, but I just want to update you on the upcoming bid wars. For tomorrow, we have an incentive for the Return to Napoli episode of Unreal. Right now we are missing $300 to meet that one. We also have a few bit worse for Resonance of Fate. We have an audio setting incentive. Right now English is ahead of Japanese by $85. And the text setting incentive. Right now Japanese is at $10, with German coming second with $2. And also there's a Pringles incentive. If it's met, Neviets will introduce you to the most hype speed game of ESA Summer 18. Right now it's $460 from being met. So if you want to hear your game in a different language, or you maybe want to read your game in a different language, or you want to see what game were the best gamers of the event playing, just get to donating.
Dude, yeah, shoutouts to the Pringles incentive. I spent like an hour playing that earlier when I should have been practicing this.
Same.
So yeah, so these 4 boxes at the end, they're horrible to get when you're doing 100%. But in this, it just is a nice signal that we've finished the level. We have 1 more level left and then the final boss. This is King 2 Uncommon. This is another instance where we're going to be taking the gem shard route because it is just faster overall. That's along here. We're picking a mask for safety. There's a mask just off screen up there. There we go. There we go. Get that mask. Checkpoint down here. There we go. That shield guy, I don't think you're really meant to be attacking them from in front. They can be quite problematic. I think you're mostly supposed to like jump over them or hit them from behind. But with a well-timed slide or spin, you can take care of them. So, using the mask to just damage you through those nitros, so I don't need to worry about it. You need to jump up and collect the crystal. That would be a shame to forget that. Nope. Get the... Never mind the mask. That's right, so we're entering the final boss now. N-Tranced. There's 2 phases to this boss. One where he'll be jumping around and we just need to hit him as soon as he becomes vulnerable. Go. So yeah, I'm just going to stay on the other side and just avoid his attacks. So for the final hit, I can just camp in the corner and just spin him. Alright, time will be coming up when the final segment of health disappears from his from the UI. So in this one, all we need to do is hit him into the fire pit. He'll always come back to this position, and he'll always stand still just after he shoots that, so we can just kind of dunk him there. But there's 2 types of things he can shoot. These bullets, or he can shoot like status-afflicting ones. One status-afflicting one will cause copies of Crash to appear, and the other will invert my controls. But he's playing nicely. Too nicely. What's he gonna do for the last one? So time will be coming up in a second. What's this? Oh, that's clones. And time. Is that 27:56? Ah, that's alright. We'll take those. Good, thank you guys so much for letting me run this at this event. This has been pretty fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed that too.